Today on the channel, the saga continues as we do It's So Hard to Say Goodbye, Part 7. Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another edition of the continuing saga of That's So Hard to Say Goodbye, and we're up to episode 7. Will we see episode 10 by the end of 2022? Only one way to find out. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the old notification bell, as I always say. But It's So Hard to Say Goodbye, Part 7 is an interesting one. This is the video, and if this is your first time watching one of these videos, this is where something is leaving my collection, and I announce it to you guys, the world out there. A lot of collectors, myself included, we sell stuff every once in a while. Maybe you're not feeling that collection anymore. Maybe it's worth a ton of money and you need some money. Or maybe you don't have room for it. Whatever the reason is, we always have collections going and collections coming. You guys, I just recently did a video the last couple of weeks. It's So Easy to Say Hello, where I introduced the Super 7 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Ultimate Edition line as a new collection I've started to collect. But one collection enters, one collection leaves, and I have to say, in all of my years collecting, this collection came and went like a revolving door very quick. I don't think I've ever done a 360 that fast on a collection in the past, and this is something entirely different for me. This usually doesn't happen. Usually, I'm a very smart collector. I've been a very smart collector since I was a little boy. At least I like to believe. And for what I want out of things, I feel I was a very smart collector and am still a very smart collector. But there are certain toy lines out there that I collect, and you guys know what I really do like out there if you've watched the channel. Sometimes nostalgia, and sometimes the bright shininess of a brand new toy on the pegs and you seeing it for the first time wins you over, just bowls you over right there in the aisle. You fall down, you're filming things, and you just fall down to the ground to your knees sometimes, just, oh my gosh. And you guys saw this if you watch my figure hunting videos. Angel and the devil on the shoulder, like a lot of us collectors have. Do I need this? Do I not need this? Should I pick it up? Should I not? Should I eat lunch today, or should I buy this figure? You know, we've all been there. We've all been there. You know, if I skip lunch today, I can get this figure and I'm all good. Sometimes you got to do it. You got to do it. You can't pass up a figure. We've all been there. But this toy line here won me over in the span of a week, and then about a week later, it's out the door. And what are we talking about here today? We're talking G.I. Joe. Oh, it hurts because you guys know I love G.I. Joe. We're talking Super 7. Hurts a little bit more because you know I love Super 7. But we're talking the G.I. Joe Super 7 reaction figures. So let's take a look at these figures real quick, and then I'm going to give all my explanations as to why I'm getting rid of these. So right now, how about the Target exclusive Snake Eyes and Cobra Commander? How cool are these? Very, very cool. The shiny vac metal on the Cobra Commander is just amazing on this. Target exclusive on these two. Then, of course, you got Snake Eyes, the other Target exclusive Snake Eyes right there. Another beautiful figure. You got old Duke. Oh, Duke, don't take any snakes from Serpentor, that's for sure. Lady J, of course. Lady J, we love her as well. Flint's best gal, as we all know. Flint, the true leader of G.I. Joe. You'll never change my mind. Bazooka, this is the one that won me over. As I told when I showed these in weekly purchases, this Bazooka figure was the one that made me pull the trigger on this line. Major Blood, oh, another beautiful one. Major Blood, absolutely love him. There it is right there. Storm Shadow, there he is as well. And then, of course, the Games Master Drone right there. So that's how deep I am in the collection here. Well, that's 3, 6, 9 figures deep. $17.99 a pop on these, as you guys are fully aware at this point. Now, Kyle, why are you getting out of the G.I. Joe? G.I. Joe is your all-time favorite for when you were a little kid. These tug on your heartstrings. I mean, you look at the packaging on these, looks like classic G.I. Joe. That's what I love so much. The nostalgic feeling of the G.I. Joe from when I was a kid, going to Toys R Us, going to Children's Palace, Target, wherever. Get yourself some G.I. Joes. Beautiful packaging. This is what we want in the Classified series, and we're kind of getting it. That's a video for another day. But this is what a G.I. Joe fan like of my age that grew up on the 80s, this just tugs on all of our heartstrings. So you got that there. You got the beautiful cross-sell in the top like we know. The file card that I've been screaming about for the last couple of years. I need the file card. It's there. It's a beautiful thing. This is exactly what I want. This is great for the adult collector. Now, this doesn't have the O-ring Joes. It doesn't have the bells and whistles of Classified or Super 7 Ultimates. It's a very 5-point articulation, Kenner Star Wars style. but it is what it is, and I absolutely do love these things. And I didn't think I was, when these were first announced, I was all out. I said, I don't need these. But like I said, I saw them at Target. I looked at them for a whole week in my figure hunt. I'm back and forth, and I finally pulled the trigger when I found a full case of these unpunched, which you guys know I love hunting unpunched things. Gives a little extra challenge to that hunt. I love toy hunting. I love that extra challenge. But that all being said, all the good with these, everything else, the bad is we got to vote with our wallet. And I talk about that all the time. I don't care if you're making $2 an hour or you're making $400 an hour. We all got expenses. We all got bills. We all got things we want to collect. And you got to take stock of what you're doing out there. And G.I. Joe won me over. And I said earlier, I'm a very smart collector. I usually have plans for everything. I kind of compartmentalize what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. This one was a spur-of-the-moment decision. I wish I could keep these. I do like these a lot. But as I said before, I do not like this $17.99 price point on these. I get it. It's Super 7. This isn't Hasbro. This isn't Mattel. To get the G.I. Joe license for their smaller production runs, etc., etc. We always talk about these smaller companies. This is what they have to sell to turn a profit. And putting that business hat on, hey, it's great. They are not a non-profit, nor should they be. At work, we have people call us all the time. We have one old manager who was there 45 years, just recently retired, learned so much from that guy over the years. And people would call always wanting a donation. Every day, I mean, still to this day, we get probably 10, 15 people a day. Can we get a donation? Can we get a donation? And his answer always was, and they'd always say, you know, we're a nonprofit. We need this donation. And he'd always say, hey, we're trying not to be a nonprofit. And we donate a ton of stuff, believe you me. But you got to, nonprofit. This isn't Super 7. They're not a nonprofit. They're here to make money. They want to make their 20 to 30% margins, I'm very sure, on this stuff. So $17.99 is the price point, and that is a very difficult price point to swallow for these figures. When just $2 more, you're getting a G.I. Joe Classified, or $3 more, depending on your retailer. It's very tough. It's very difficult. And I would be probably keeping this line if this was more of a $10 price point. I got to be honest. And who's to say, you know, 6 months from now, these might go on clearance. We might see these for $10. Kyle might swoop back in. We'll see what happens. But in this day and age, with the inflation that is hitting us, it's gripping the nation. It's gripping the world right now. Inflation, things costing a lot more. A Marvel Legend, when they go from, you know, $19.99 to $22.99 to possibly $24.99 in the next couple of months. Wrestling figures going up in price. Super 7 Ultimate Editions going up $4 or $5 each. You get the hint here that things are snowballing, things are getting more expensive, and lines need to be cut. I've already cut 3 3/4 Star Wars, 3 3/4 Marvel Legends, the retro carded ones. I've cut those back. This G.I. Joe one bowled me over just that week. Took my breath away, took my wallet away for the week, and I said, you know what? I can't go on with this. I have 9 ones right here. I think there's 10 more that are currently out there. It's $224 for the entire set on Big Bad Toy Store. Link in the description below, of course. Thinking about pulling the trigger on that, and like just in the span of a week, I'm $500 into this. And guess what? There's a $75 vehicle pack on there I'd have to order. And then they're gonna make these things in heavy volumes. They're gonna come out with a lot of different figures of these, and reaction figures go very fast. They're a lot easier to make than some of your Ultimate Editions, things like that. So these are gonna get cooking, and before you know it, we're gonna have 50 of these things. And then Kyle says to himself, where am I gonna display all this stuff? And that is the other thing we talked about way at the beginning of this video is sometimes it's money, sometimes you're not feeling it, sometimes you just don't have room. And I got a lot of room. I got a lot of room still to go in my action figure collection. And I understand I have a lot more room than the average person does for their action figure collection. But for me, I said I looked where I was planning on putting these. I said I could see myself in seeing Super 7. I might not have enough room by the time they're all done for this. Then where am I at? And you know what? I have the G.I. Joe 25th anniversary line, the figure subscription line. I have a whole wall of those. It's beautiful. I got the Walmart retro line. Do I really need these? Well, yes, of course I do need these, but does my wallet need these? You gotta look yourself in the mirror. And what I always do is I get a big stand-up mirror, I put it here, and I just look. I just stare at myself in the eyes for like 20 minutes. Or I don't do that at all, but it sounds good. But I stare at myself in the mirror and I say, Kyle, you gotta be honest with yourself. You don't need this. You need this, you know, $500 here or whatever, between that and the other Series 1 I was planning on picking up. What could you do with that $500? Well, that can fund the rest of those Super 7 Turtle Ultimates that are going to be coming the rest of the year, of course. How about that Turtle Party Wagon? How about that Storm Collectible Golden Axe set you've wanted forever? So there's always something else you could put that money towards. Now, I'm all in on the G.I. Joe Classified line. I'm all in on the G.I. Joe Super 7 Ultimates, as you guys know. So I'm going to stick with those. That was my first decision, and you should always go with your gut decision. Whatever your gut tells you at first, be it collections, be it job interviews, be it at work, 9 times out of 10, you're pretty smart to follow your first instincts. I've always learned that. Some of us have had to learn that the hard way. But that's where I'm at with this. Nothing against this line. This line blew away my expectations. I was really down saying, oh, this is not going to be cool. But Super 7 really did knock these out of the park, and I think they're better than any of the other reaction figures we've seen from Super 7. It just seems like there's that extra ingredient in these across the board. And as we all know, that extra ingredient is love, of course. I absolutely love these. And who knows, down the line, maybe there'll be a big deal. Maybe there'll be a fire sale on Big Bad Toy Store. Maybe something will happen, and I'll get these back. But we'll see. And the other thing I forgot to mention is if I'm getting these, guess what? I'm getting them on punch, like I said. So I'm going to need Defender cases. So you're spending an extra $5 per Defender case. These are $23 figures all of a sudden. And I said, that's just going to add up to too much. I think there are going to be way too many releases over the next couple of years. It's just something I can't hold on. And you've got to be honest, reaction figures are best on package. They just aren't for opening. You can definitely open them if you want. But I think the whole story here is much better. And so, very, very disappointing episode of That's So Hard to Say Goodbye, Part 7. But I think it's one that needed to be made, and I'm glad I made it as soon as I did before I got too deep into this line. And this is definitely the fastest I've ever turned around a collection in my entire life. And one of these days we'll do It's So Hard to Say Goodbye, Part 0, where we're talking about the big purge I had in my late teen years. I don't know, I got to get some Kleenexes ready for that, and I got to draw out a big storyboard. I can't just riff that one off the top of my head. But we'll do that video one of these days, so stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media, SirPaul64 on Twitter, Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson, and then, of course, ProWrestlingTees.com. Pick up a t-shirt, support the channel, and down in the comments below, you guys give me a That's So Hard to Say Goodbye story. Have you ever bought something and then literally left the store and then came right back in the store and took it back? I'm sure somebody's done that. I haven't done that yet. I'm sure one day I will, but let me know your hardest to say goodbye story that you've had over the last year or so. Anything that compares to this, let me know in the comments down below. So there it is for That's So Hard to Say Goodbye, Part 7. I am Kyle. See you guys all real soon.